This conference will now be recorded.
It's all yours, Trina. Oh, she has a mouthful. Sorry.
It's okay. Good evening, everyone, and I hope and I pray that all is well with you, despite of the storms that we encounter on a daily basis. Today, we're going to be discussing different activities to help you to cope during this time, during your struggle, during your pain with having a rare disease such as sarcoidosis. Today, the floor will be led by Christine Howell, which is our life coach for the second session. Christine, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Again, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure when I can educate and help others, especially during this stressful time with the pandemic. Um, so, what I did was from our last session, I wanted to provide you guys with more of an insight on different ways to cope with stress, cope with anxiety, and depression. While we're going through this pandemic, people are stuck in the house, you're losing loved ones, things like that. Um, I learned, of course, in group, which has been very helpful for me in the times where I've really felt stressed with being in the house. Things like coloring, sitting outside and focusing on a particular object or color, whether it be the color of the trees, the sky, a bird, something that's going to take you mentally out of the space of where you're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, or if I've come in contact with someone, with the coronavirus. I've actually had the test. I did that yesterday. Uh, Let me just forewarn you, it's not the best feeling. Um, but there is a meditation that is called guided meditation, which is where most of the time when I did guided meditation, we had a place that we would create within our mind and within our space mentally. And that place could be wherever you want it, whatever you created. It's an actual awesome exercise. Before me and Trina close out, that's something that we had discussed, having you guys doing with the breathing and just basically creating your own safe space mentally, but removing you from the thought process of what's going on in the current world and just kind of giving you that peace and that relaxation that you need. Another great thing, which I know is hard for a lot of you guys because of the nature of sarcoidosis, is exercise. Exercise is an excellent way to decompress and to de-stress. If you can't, be all in, high impact, and all that stuff, I totally get it. I would recommend getting some light weights. Maybe do those while you're sitting down. Strength bands are good. They have less stress on the body than weights, but they do the same amount of work. Um, I also will recommend, just a 30, 40-minute walk in the park, if your body tolerates, if your body can tolerate it. Because what I don't want you to do is to overwork your body with this disease since it attacks in various forms of the body. Um, Another thing that I do that I thought was super helpful, I have gotten a coloring book and I actually color. They actually have them on Amazon, and it's adult coloring books. It's super duper fun. I never thought in a million years I was like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna be coloring. But I got me some coloring pencils, and I did color. That was very good for me and for my anxiety and my major depression and things like that. I'm trying to think of other things that I have done, but I know focusing on a color or taking a shower. And the dark, believe it or not, is a wonderful way to combat depression, anxiety, and things like that. It allows the body to relax. It allows you to have that mindfulness time where you're able to be active and be present in that moment. It's wonderful. I actually have had the experience. You don't want to become too relaxed because you can't go to sleep in the shower. um, yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. It's very relaxing. If you don't have a shower or, you want to take a bath, a bubble bath is always great. I like to get those tea lights and I put them
Mhm.
around the tub. I turn on jazz. Jazz is very good for depression. It allows the mind to just kind of push past what may be going on, throughout the world and things like that. Yes,
This
Trina.
thing.
Hmm.
I'm glad you brought up music and the type of music because my understanding, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but my understanding
Hmm.
is certain types of music attracts the soul first and foremost. It brings life and it also brings you to another level on a mental note.
Oh, come
Um,
on.
you suggesting jazz, something soft tempo, because different ranges, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but different trembles of music alters the brain and it stimulates the brain a certain way. It's just like a child that has incontinent issues.
Hmm.
Um, so that stimulation when it comes to loud noises will make them nervous or, unable to function. So let's just talk a little bit about how that operates, or how that suppresses the brain or how the brain functions when you're going through that mental mode and you're listening to certain things that's really kind of destructing you, going into self-destruction. Does that make sense?
It does make sense because with mental illness, they even use a actual I don't want to say practice, but they actually use this method of music therapy. And it actually works for various mental health conditions, such as depression, trauma, even people that have schizophrenia. So, what it does is music actually acts as it's kind of like a medium for you to process your emotions, trauma, and grief, and things like that. But you do have to be mindful of the type of music that you choose. So, say for instance, typically what I like to do is I like earth sounds, things like water, ocean, things that are very relaxing, that's going to pull the mind and the emotion out of that space that it may be in. Or
So,
if you're down, you want to turn on something that's upbeat and maybe move around a little bit to set those endorphins off so that it can kick up that mental stability to where you're like, okay, well, it's kind of past. Um,
mhm.
but it is shown to be very successful in regulating and calming people that have that struggle with mental health and even health issues. Jazz is another one that I absolutely love. Very relaxing, very keeps you in a very mindful place. But psychologists and research has shown that there are huge benefits in music therapy.
Thank you for covering that for us. Anybody has
Oh,
any
you're
questions at this
welcome.
point? Q&A
Yes,
session.
Christine. Christine. Hello,
Hi,
Christine.
Wendy. Yes.
Hi. My question is, I'm trying to find something before I go to bed to get rid of my anxiety of my thoughts of this disease before I go to bed, please. Something
Okay.
you.
Honestly, for you, because I know you guys with this disease, you're on various medication, you may be in various pain and things like that. Typically, what I recommend doing, and this even works for me, I lay down in the bed because you can lay down when you meditate. And
Mhm.
meditation is basically allows you as an individual to take control of your mind, your body, everything that's going on with you in that moment by breathing. So you want to inhale as deep as you can. You want to place your tongue at the top of your mouth, and you just want to count mentally. And you hold it as long as you can, but when you blow it out, that's where the relaxation and the mind process and thoughts come, because it's a slow breath out, which allows the mind to start to begin to allow you to control the thoughts so that you can relax. And with meditation, I found once you do it and you've done it enough, the body will respond to it because it's not something that you've done before. So the body will respond. The thing of it is having the patience to lay there. So when you start, I started with 2 minutes, and then I went to 3 minutes, and then I went to 5 minutes. And so as you begin to do it, it will begin to increase, and you will start to find that your anxiety is less and less. Try not to fall asleep with the TV on, because when the TV's on, if you're trying to meditate and that TV's on, you want total relaxation. When you go to sleep and your TV's running in the background, the brain is still going. So your body's not shutting down, getting you to full REM sleep, which is what you need to rejuvenate your body. Also, considering with this disease, much like my depression, I have to have a solid 8 hours in order for me to fully function. And with your pain level, that meditation is also going to help as well. So I would definitely recommend meditation for you. I would recommend downloading mindful meditation apps. Mindful meditation is awesome. If you have an Android or Apple device, if you type in mindful meditation apps, plenty of those come up. Chakra meditation. Chakra is basically your inner core, your inner peace. And that is also great for that. Mind Space is a great app for mindful meditation, and basically it walks you through it. Um, it's guided. You'll hear a lady's voice or a man's voice, but I would definitely recommend that for you, Wendy. Give that a try. And then when we I'm sorry, I was muted too. But let me know how that works out for you. And then the next time we meet, you let me know. If that doesn't work, then I'll have something else to provide you with.
Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome. I think we lost Trina. Where did Trina go?
Before we do that, call. Oh wait, let me unmute. Somebody, we muted everybody. It looks like.
Hey, Rodney.
Okay, can I ask who is the new callers that came in before we keep on going?
It's
Somebody.
Jennifer. I snuck in.
Okay, and then hi Jen. There's also a caller that came in too.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, who's that?
This is Judy Mears. How are you?
Hi. All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. This is my first time coming.
Came at a perfect time because we have Christine here, who is a life coach, who's giving us a lot of good lessons.
Yeah, I've been
Hello.
listening. Great.
All right, Christine, I'm going to
Next time I'll do it online, but I'm moving at the last minute, so I just figured I'd call today.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that Frank?
It's better late than never.
Is
Yes,
that
Judy.
Frank's voice I hear?
Yes, it is.
Oh, bless your heart. I haven't seen you
Thank
since
you.
the ambassador's training a couple of years back. Good to hear your voice.
You too. And thank you for coming. Okay, Christine, back to you again.
All right. So another thing, with this particular pandemic and everything that we're going through, even with you guys' sarcoidosis, you may want to try to I know for me with dealing with depression, people that deal with depression or any type of mental illness, we have a hard time keeping things clean. Um, it's not that we don't want to clean it, it's just one of the downsides of cleaning. It's just something that comes with the disease. I'm pretty sure you guys deal with depression and stuff with this type of disease and them having, little cures to it, or, any concrete information that you guys can use that will help you. So what I do every day is I get up and I make a list, and it's usually 2 to 3 things. Um, and I tried to tackle them. So today, my goal was to tackle my room, tackle the kitchen, and my bathroom. So I try to use those as a way to structure my day and guide my day. Even though I'm working from home, I still need that structure there. So I always try to make sure that I set obtainable goals. I make sure that when I meditate, that I usually try to keep a consistent time in which I meditate, because it takes 21 days to create a habit. And so I have set aside a set time for meditation, which has been great for me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a person of structure, and of pattern, because it does help with the anxiety and things like that.
And my understanding, sorry, Christine, this is Trina speaking. My understanding is that those who do suffer with mental illnesses, um, I'm glad that's a very valid point that you brought up, that there has to be some structure. Um, and it takes me back to when I was in school. And you would see back then in the days, I ain't gonna say how old I am, it's nobody's business.
All
But
right,
back
you're
in the day when you
25.
would go to high school or middle school, you would see children that were different. You just knew they were different from you.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew that they had, I think it was HCD class, and it was one for for behavioral health, and the other one was for those who were kind of had a lower learning disability, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings me to what you're saying right now, and it just confirms everything that you're saying. That structure is very important for people who have these challenges. And without the
Mm-hmm.
structure, the challenges gets more difficult.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that you battle constantly. Not only that, people with mental illness, I believe you guys said sarcoidosis attacks the immune system, correct? Okay, so
It,
those of us that have mental illness, we also suffer from fibromyalgia, which means that your body aches. There are days where I'm sitting and my legs may just ache for no reason, because it's a part of the disease. Also, with my thyroid being removed, that is an added thing, because your thyroid controls your emotions. So that even further heightened my depression. Once they removed it, the depression was there, and when it was at its worst was around 2010, which was around the time we became friends. And it got really, really bad. But when they took my thyroid out, I remember hating my job so much to the point where I would get up in the morning early just to sit there on the bed and just cry. And that's when it was at its worst, but it started getting better as I took the thyroid, and I had to get, the mental health and portion and things like that under control. So if you have thyroid issues, that will cause you to struggle with mental illness as well, because your thyroid holds your emotions, your hormones, your metabolism, your weight. All that stuff is, it's almost like a little golden tool with that thyroid. And once it's removed, it is a constant battle to stay balanced. For me, I had two great psychiatrists from New York City. They both were wonderful. And they got me, the last one, she got me on Lexapro. If you've never heard of it, it's excellent for anxiety and depression. Um, I do have an anxiety pill that I take at night just because, and like you, Wendy, I was jumping up because I didn't want to go to work, or I feel like I was going to oversleep. So my body would just jump up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I did partner with my psychiatrist and my
Right.
doctor, and I got, let me grab the medicine so I can make sure. I take hydroxyzine, and I take that with 2 of my trazodone at night. And that has really helped me because when I'm jumping up or if I forget to take it at night, it is not a good day the next day. So I share your pain, Wendy. I totally get it. Um, I also
Let me
try
ask a
to.
question, if you don't mind, Christine, for a second. Wendy,
Mhm.
getting back to your question, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to bridge the gap. You said you suffer from anxiety. So how's your anxiety? Do you have the racing heart? Is it almost like a panic attack when you say anxiety? Because there's different types of anxiety. Can you explain to us what is it that you're dealing with
I
and
get
Sure.
how?
Initially, when I started having anxiety or panic attacks, it was around 2004. In my very first one, it felt like I was having a heart attack, but
Mhm.
I was not. After that, I would recognize them coming. So
Okay, hold up right there, Chris. Wendy, can you relate to that same symptom or no?
Well, I have used to have the racing heart. I don't have it anymore, and I don't know why.
That's
yeah,
I
okay.
don't know if
that's
it's
how
because of
mine
meds I'm
started.
on.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Wendy.
I don't know if it's because of the meds I'm on, the prednisone, and I'm not sure. And
Mhm.
I'm walking now, so that might be getting rid of it. The racing heart. Um, but um, I do know that the anxiety is 90% the worst problem. My sarcoid is the anxiety with it.
And this is only occurring when you go to bed, or this is throughout the day?
Um, I get anxiety whenever things aren't cooperating right in my brain. So I have it all day.
Okay, okay, okay. And
But
have you spoke with your doctor relating this?
yes, I just spoke with her. Yes, I spoke with my counselor yesterday about it.
Okay, okay.
And
And can you concur if some of the things that Christine is touching on, you can relate to any conversations that you previously had with your coach or your
well,
doctor?
it's funny. When she started talking about the breathing thing today, the physical
Hmm.
therapist that came to my house today was going over deep breathing with me. So I was really enjoying Christine's knowledge on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Christine, the floor is back yours.
Okay. So yes, much like Wendy, that was how mine started. And then once I recognized what was going on, I didn't have the anxiety, the panic attacks as much. Um, but I started noticing when I really like despised my job, I'd have to get up at 7:30. I would jump up at 3, and my body would jump up at 5, and I would just be exhausted. And so that's the reason why Lexapro attacks anxiety and depression, but
Hmm.
I need that extra for when I'm sleeping because otherwise the pattern of my sleep is broken up. You were getting to
And
ask
it's funny
something,
that you
Trina?
mentioned that because I have been this way with my whole life. I sleep with my television on. That's just me, and I know and I understand that my brain is not, shut down. I get it. How can we that is so guilty of that? And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a habit that is hard to break. How can we that still practice this habit break from it? What do we need to do slowly, just taking one step at a time. Before we know it, we're practicing and we're not missing anything and we're calm and we're still getting the sleep that we should be getting.
What I started doing was, and I know everybody has wonderful TVs, smart TVs, and all that good stuff. I set my TV timer. I still go to sleep with my TV on. I set it for 60 minutes. And
What?
I started doing that probably 5 years ago. And I've noticed here lately that if I'm extremely tired, I just turn it off. I never could go to sleep in the dark before. I came from a huge family, so our house was never quiet. So for it to be quiet, it's like, God, what's going on? But now, if I'm really tired, I'm like, I don't want to hear this TV, and I just turn it off.
So you said the first steps that we need to take, people, are you listening? I don't agree, but who am I? I'm not a professional. But the first steps that we need to take, according to Christine Howell, our life coach for this evening, is to use your timer on your television. Now, Christine, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know about you all. I can't rock with a 60-minute timer. I'm up honestly 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and knowing I have to tell work at 8. So, give us some more tools to work with, if you don't mind.
Okay, so initially, I have a set bedtime. Okay, and I know usually about 11:30, I'm laying down. So the TV's still going, so I put it on mute and I start meditating to relax my body to get it to the point where it wants to start knowing, hey, she's sending me a signal, we get ready to go to sleep. So I find a show that I love. And this is how I knew I was getting old. 2020 on saves my life. Or I
Okay.
will go to sleep, which is crazy, to the first 48 because I love stuff like that. So I find a
Wait a
show
minute,
I
hold on,
like.
hold on. Back it up. Stop, pause. We putting out a disclaimer right now.
Don't go to sleep the first 48 if it's gonna mess with
That's
you.
that part. Go ahead.
But I usually tell people find their favorite show. I used to go to sleep the King of Queens because it's very funny. Um, and so what I do is when I first started doing it, my timer was 90 minutes. So I started off when I would get really tired, do my meditation, I set it for 90 minutes. What I also do is I turn down the brightness of the TV.
Oh.
That way to create, even though it's not dark in your room because of the TV, I usually turn the brightness down to about 22, basically manipulating my brain that even though this TV's on, it's dark in here. So it's time to go to sleep. I turn that down. I set the timer, find my favorite show, and I just lay there and I breathe until my body goes to sleep. Then when I go to sleep, the TV shuts itself off and you sleep
Makes sense.
really well. And your body gets the REM and you're totally revamped. But you also
Okay,
want
so
to make
for
sure
anybody that
before you get ready for bed, don't be calculating bills and all this other stuff because that stuff stays in your brain when you lay down.
mm, mm.
My mind, when
So
I used to
basically we're
not be able to
programming
get,
ourselves to
hmm
prepare for that routine, for that transition. And in that transition, you need to do steps A, B, and C to get to that
right,
height. Okay. Okay.
that is
Okay.
correct. So it takes 21 days to form a habit. So you
Okay.
have to be conscious of it at first. And those first 2 weeks, yes. Is it going to be a cakewalk? No, it's going to be difficult as hell. But guess what? After those first 2 weeks, your body is going to start to crave it. it's going to want it because that's what it's used to you doing. It's just you programming the mind and the body to do what you need it to do.
And that's so funny that you mentioned that, because I'm looking at it as the seasons go by. Everybody can agree. We all can agree that in the wintertime, it gets dark early, you get tired early, you want to go to bed early. So it's that transition within that cycle. The same thing, but same routine, but a different day, same cycle.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned in our last session the different types of mental illnesses, the different types of medications for treatments. You mentioned, again, like you did today, about the honest meditation. How about self-control? Can we kind of little touch on how one can control their thoughts, their patterns of things that they're finding themselves doing for no reason or for a reason? If if they're fearing something or if they're in pain, can you kind of give us some tools to work with on how to understand what we're doing and to kind of come away from reasoning with ourselves on why we're doing it, and the best sort of talking yourself out of it, I guess, versus saying
Okay.
treatment? We know treatment will have to go to the doctor, whatever. But if you can give us something to exercise our positive thoughts to take over from those habits and things that are not of good nature for us.
Exactly. What I do every day is I do an affirmation. So, for example, when I get up in the morning, I'm a spiritual person. So when I get up, I say, today is a good day. Thank you, Lord, that everything is going the way that it was designed to go. Not necessarily going my way. And I think that's what we struggle with a lot in our society because we're taught, okay, I planned it, it didn't go this way. And so now I'm a failure. Or I
Mm.
have to do this because if I don't, then I feel bad about myself. Or, other people may say things that are negative. So I believe that it's energy. It's whatever you put out in the atmosphere. So when you
Mhm.
get up in the morning with this particular disease, you know, my affirmation would be, thank you, God, for today. I'm thankful that I have life. I'm thankful that even though I have this disease, I'm able to make it through the day. Or
Mhm.
thank you that I'm able to manage my pain. Thank you that I have good doctors that come through for me. You just want to keep putting those positive things out there about yourself. And you want to make sure that when something negative happens, don't let your emotions overtake you. Sit
Mhm.
down, think about it, process it. Try to find the lesson or the what I like to call the nugget in the situation to where it's positive, because there's always something positive even in the midst of chaos, as we've seen that over the last couple of weeks. There's always positivity in everything that happens um, in this life. Like you guys have, this disease, but look at the family and the olive branches and things like that you guys have extended to each other across the United States, which is beautiful.
Mhm.
You just have to try to take it one day at a time. Um,
I'm reading something here now online, if you don't mind me interrupting for a
sure,
second. And
no, go
it
ahead.
says, thank you, I appreciate the moment on the floor. It says physical and mental health cannot be treated as separate issues. Having a mental disorder, in addition to a physical disease, affects patients' quality of life and can even decrease life expectancy. So with that being said, is providing sufficient psychology, rare disease support, which we're doing today, is supporting each other and helping each other cope and get through the things that we are feeling. And I think we all can relate to each other one way or another with whatever is occurring in our life or had or is about to. And this is the purpose of the group Frank brought to us, is no one is alone. You know, we don't have to do this alone. We're here for each other. We're each other's brothers, sister keepers.
Yeah, and I think that's great. When you're dealing with rare diseases, when you're dealing with mental health, you have to have a good support team. And I think it's fabulous that you guys do this. I oftentimes myself, contemplate doing this with other people, that are dealing with mental illness as well as myself throughout this time, because everybody is not balanced, is not having the experience that I had, but it does. Mental health, physical health, and then physical rare disease and mental health, all that stuff goes hand in hand. You can't do
You know,
one
Christine,
without the other.
I find it for myself, and I can't, and I'm just going to be open about it. I know the habit of lack of sleep may have a lot to do with it, but I find sometimes myself with, I have lung sarcoidosis, and I have it also in other places, but sometimes it almost feels as though when I'm doing certain activities, and doesn't have to be anything strenuous, I find it that it feels as though I'm suffocating. And this is a lot that I lay down at night, and I'm maybe overly concerned, maybe not, but it's something that I have to deal with. And I always um, reflect on the greater good, but I always have to come back to my truth. And with dealing with that, to me, is on a different branch of the mental illness. It's just these are our realities, and nobody can add to it, and nobody can take away from it. It's just that we have to learn how to cope, and having these sessions, coming on here and speaking our truth and living our life. We're glad that we are able to open these floors to people who really want to help us to get through this. You know, it's not an easy task at all. Um, we're appreciative that you have shared so much with us. And with that, I want you to give us even some more powerful feedback. And then let's go into the exercise session prior to closing. We're going to take the questions and then we're going to answer them. Okay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
So, what we're going to do now is what we call a guided meditation. So, what you'll do is if you're sitting down, you want to make sure your feet are flat on the ground. You want to lay your arms either on your lap, or if you're laying down, lay them on your legs. You want to lay back and you want to close your eyes. And we're going to start. We're going to take a really deep breath. And what you're going to do is you're going to place your tongue at the top of the roof of your mouth. So when you take
Are
that
you
deep,
able to come back on the screen so we can kind of see what your demo, or Wendy,
sure.
can you demo for us? Okay.
Can you see me?
Not as yet.
Okay. I don't know if were you able to see me? Okay, hold on here. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. So when you breathe, you want to breathe from your stomach. Okay. So you want to breathe just like how it were if you sing, or if you're like me, you think you could sing. You just want to you want to go here.
Unfortunately, Christine, we still don't have a visual of you, but that's okay. Walk
You
us through
can't.
it.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me share it. Okay. Can you see it now?
Thank you.
By George,
Okay.
I think I've got it, guys. All right. So what you do is you're going to inhale. You're going to take a deep breath. And you're going to hold your tongue to the roof of your mouth. You're going to hold it as long as you can with your eyes closed. What you're going to do is you're going to literally create your own safe space, whether it's an island you're on, whether whatever it is for you. So you want to close your eyes, place your hands down. We're going to take a deep breath. And then we're going to slowly release. So the way that I made that noise, you should be able to, because when you're releasing that air as slow as you can, what that is doing is that's allowing you to control the mind and what is going into your brain, into your thought process. When you release it really, really slow, it relaxes the body. It's also good for back pain. So if you have
Mm.
back pain, or you can get you a balloon, but if you have back pain, you can get down on all fours on your knees and your hands, pull that air in, hold it, and then release it really slow. That will relieve lower back pain. Or you can get a balloon and blow the balloon up. And instead of taking big breaths after, blow it up, hold it, blow it again, and hold it and hold it. Let me grab a balloon. I have a balloon,
Okay.
which is
So
a
at
good,
this point,
it's a good way to meditate. I have a bunch of balloons. So this is a balloon. So I'm
okay.
gonna go.
Okay. Okay.
Relaxes the whole body. It's excellent for pain, but it's also good for meditation too. If you don't feel like you can close your eyes and you can breathe like that, or you can hold your breath long, this has the exact same effect.
Okay. Thank you. Now
You're
you
welcome.
mentioned colors.
Hmm.
What colors are helps calm the brain, if that exists?
I believe it does. Let's see here.
I always heard the color orange makes or red makes a person, like orange is a sight color, red is supposed to be like make a person kind of like their brain altered to negativity. So and I thought I had read something on it, but I can't find it now. Can you confirm?
Well, I know green. I don't see red as one of the de-stressing colors, but I do see that green is restful and peaceful, restful, quiet. Um, Purple, which is violet, it
Mhm.
signifies truth, strength, and wisdom, which is great because you guys' color is purple.
Yay.
Uh, White also symbolizes clarity and freshness. Um, then you've got blue. Blue
Mhm.
is a color that stands true to its appearance, but it's still very relaxing. You have yellow. When I think about yellow, I think about things like sunshine, things that actually make you, uh, happy. Um, Pink. Pink is a color that is designed to promote tranquility, peace, things like that. I've
Really?
actually grown to love pink. Yes,
Hmm.
I thought it was very strange when I initially saw pink.
Hmm.
Um, you don't want to now gray, stay away from grays, but if you want to partner a gray with like a red, or a blue or something like that, it creates calm. It creates a very relaxing atmosphere, where you can kind of just enjoy yourself, you know. But yellow
Now,
is
why
definitely
should we stay away from gray? Because gray is like a neutral color. So what is it
gray is
saying?
very depressing. Gray is considered
Ooh,
to be a depressing, gloomy color, much like black.
I
Think
love
about it.
black. I love
I love
black.
black. Let me
Black
tell you,
goes
when
with
I
everything.
before
I,
I
I rock
had my
great very
diagnosis, and which you
Hold
could
on,
attest to,
Christine.
Trina.
Hold on, Christine. What you say, Rodney?
say I rock gray very well.
Rodney, you got to give that gray up. You got to give it
Okay,
up there,
dog. Got 2 minutes too.
Judge. But yeah, before I got diagnosed, and Trina can speak to this, every time you saw me, I was in black. But I don't know if if you noticed here lately, I see I have on green, I wear pink. When I put on yellow, um, I don't know, this energy comes over me. I'm so lively, I'm so energetic, which I said it speaks to the sun. Like, you could be having the worst day. Go find you a yellow dress, buy you a yellow dress or a shirt or something, and maybe even a handkerchief, and tie it on your head. It will change the whole trajectory of your day, because your energy is then shifted from things that are going wrong to, you know what? I feel good in this moment. I feel better in this moment.
You said something I want to pinpoint. Okay, so do you think people treat you differently? And I don't mean like as far as service is concerned, but you think people are more prone to a person who wears vibrant colors than a person that wears, because that alters the brain too, how you treat people, how the service that you give, that you provide to people. So you think the colors that you wear speaks of your character, or do you think that that kind of flips over towards the person that's receiving you? You see what I'm saying? If you have, like, if I have on all black and I appear before you, do you find it that your mood change because of the colors I have on, or are you still neutral? Or I mean, what? I'm trying to get the whole concept about this color thing.
Yeah. So if I see somebody in all black, I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're depressed today or they're going through something. So I think it does on a subconscious level, not on a conscious level. Because on a conscious level, people are people. We want to look at personality. But subconscious, if you see somebody in all black and they're in all black all the time, um, most of the time they typically are depressed. I know when I was depressed and I was in some of my most negative spots, black every day. Every
Black matches everything. I had a black wall. It was called Onyx in my bedroom for a long time until I gave it up. Black goes with everything. It's a neutral color. Okay, I'm surprised
it's
to hear. I mean,
true.
not
But
surprised, but
again,
I get it. I get it.
I'm gonna chime in here a little bit. I was at TJ Maxx like probably 6 months ago or longer, and I go to the checkout counter, and the woman who's checking me out is like, "What is wrong with you? Black, gray, charcoal gray, black, gray." She's like, "You need some color in your life. Next time you come in here, you come find me, and I'm gonna help you out."
when
Wow.
when I
See,
used to get
wow.
my nails done initially, you can ask my nail tech. I've been going to her for 14 years, and all I would get was black and like dark colors when I first came to them. But as I ventured into colors, with me dealing with my clinical depression, now, they're like, Chris, we can't stop you from the colors. And then I also have the issue of being dark skinned. And so we were stereotyped to where there were certain colors that we were told we couldn't wear. Like, we were told we couldn't wear yellows, we couldn't wear the oranges and, the greens and things like that. But, now that I'm very well in touch with who I am and very well have managed my mental illness, this weekend I went and I had orange toe polish put on my feet. And I was like, this orange looks great. And it really helps my day. I did it on purpose because I knew when I get frustrated with my job and I get tired of sitting at the desk, I'll spin around and look at my feet because of the color. Because the color, it does something to me. It has the ability to change your whole mood.
Mm.
I
So what
also
about
get up
senses of
another.
food and things like that? What about the, since we're talking about senses, let's go all the way there for everybody. So let's touch on food and texture if you can.
For me, I have my weight. I don't know about any of you guys, but my weight does this. Um, Salad. I love a fresh salad. That green is bright. You put, you put the bacon bits there, which gives you the texture. The cheese. I used to hate tomatoes, but those little cherry tomatoes I love now. And I do that. And when I eat salad, salad is almost like wake up, I'm here.
Live enzymes. Mm-hmm. Live
Yes.
enzymes. Mm-hmm.
Um, Meat, you always want to make sure you get enough protein. Protein is for the average woman, we need 60 grams of
Mm.
protein daily. So that our energy level and our metabolism and things like that is up. I am not a huge breakfast eater. I just
Me
don't
neither.
like breakfast, but I have to force myself. So I'll do something like oatmeal, um, or I might do egg whites, or something like that. Breakfast is a drag for me, but that salad is heaven to me.
Okay, so can we talk about what live enzymes, if you have any background at all, or can you touch on it slightly? How live enzymes work with the brain and the body versus cooked food or overcooked food, and what it does to the body and your mental
I,
altogether.
I'm not sure of what it does to the body, but I know that you will see that in people that struggle with their weight. Um, there would be a time when I was depressed. If I was really, really down,
Hmm.
I would go and get ice cream.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if they
Hmm.
had a scan of my brain prior and then after, they will see the areas that were depressed light up. They've actually done CAT scans on people when they're depressed, and when they've gotten food or they've had a salad or they've gotten some sunlight, and you will see the whole area where there was once depression that was
Different
lit up.
patterns of the brain. I heard about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So best moving forward, can you kind of just give us a little feedback from our last session with you? And you were talking about that satellite therapy. You
Oh,
talk
yes.
about
Let me pull that
how
up
it
for you guys.
stimulates your mood. Okay. And with a
Because
purchase,
I,
if you can
cause I
give us a
had it
slide.
all typed up. I just have to pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that mood light is it comes in handy um in the
And then
fall.
after Christine gives us some information in regards to the satellite, at this time, we're gonna go ahead and take some questions, and Christine is gonna answer them for you. Or if you have something that you like to share, now's your time. The floor is yours for the next 5 minutes.
All right. So with this is called basically it's natural light therapy is what it is. What it
Natural
does
light.
is it affects the brain chemicals linked to the mood, sleep, basically easing symptoms of mental health and things like that, like depression, sleep disorders. So there is also another one besides the one that Walmart has through Sunbeam. There is Happy Natural Light Therapy, which is on Amazon. It's 28.95, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to have. It's essential to have. Once daylight saving times is over, because your mood, as we discussed, previously, your mood is affected. I mean, it's getting dark at 5 o'clock. You know, it makes you sluggish and things like that. It's almost your body's way of emulating vitamin D throughout the remainder of that time. So that's the reason why it's used. It is
Mhm.
wonderful. They used it for a long time to treat mood disorder and things like
Okay. So can you recommend any teas to help us that those who are having sleep deprivation? Is there any
that.
natural teas out here that we can drink that kind of can help us get to that point?
There is sleepy time tea. So they have the regular sleepy time tea, but they also have the sleepy time tea that has white tea and lavender in it.
Okay.
Before I had sleep pills, I used to take that a lot, and it
Hmm.
works. Not only that, I would also recommend melatonin. If you can't take you know, a lot of sleep pills and things like that, if you can't take them because of the different medicines with the sarcoidosis and things like that, because I understand how that whole process can affect, you know, the ability to take medications. You can get melatonin. Melatonin is totally natural. I love when I used to take it, I would do the drops because the drops just tend to work quicker.
And I'm glad you said that because I guess they're soft gel capsules, and
Mhm.
sometimes I would have to double up for it to really work, depending
Right.
on if I have been getting any rest or not.
Yeah, the drops work great.
Hmm.
And you can get them at Walmart or you can purchase them from Amazon. Um,
Okay.
but I used to use those as well for my
Okay.
sleeping. So
Okay.
try
And
that and go ahead,
no, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
try that and then try the meditation or just simply laying there counting backwards until it takes effect.
Now, you spoke about water earlier and how water can soothe as far as you're talking about how you feeling. Can we discuss water when you're digesting it, what it does to the body, for the brain?
Well, water, when you're digesting it, water basically for me is a cleanser. um, with what you eat, with all the medication you take. But what I also do that is very relaxing, I keep a waterfall. If you want to go to Michael's, they're having a great sale. And if you have a backyard, um, I usually put a water fountain either in my house or on back on my patio, and I sit in the dark and I just listen to that water run.
Hmm.
It is
Hmm.
something that is so soothing. But water consumption is definitely vital, especially for for mental healthness and things like that. I know for me it was very essential because when my thyroid was off, my a typical person's muscle enzymes are 700. Mine were
Mm.
900. So I would be
Wow.
walking and my thigh or my leg would just swell up to the point where I would be limping. I couldn't walk. And so I drank a lot of water and that helped it, but I had to get my thyroid back balanced. So water just for your health is it's very, very vital. Um,
Hmm.
is it something that has the best flavor? No. But again, your body will adjust.
Any questions at this time or any input? I'm just trying to give them a minute to chime in case they're caught up doing other multitasking.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to thank you for your input. I definitely found resonance with the guided meditation. That's really helped me, particularly in trying to get sleep. Then prednisone entered my life and everything went sideways. So trying to circle back around on that, but that was a big help. Mindfulness, definitely trying to appreciate and stay in the moment, because that's been very important. In terms of sources of guided meditation, I use the Calm app. I found that really good. And they have a master class, which has a whole bunch of like really good information on sleeping properly. And it's more than, like getting blue light away from your eyes from 8 o'clock on. So I'm obviously violating that right now, but some things like that were really good. Consistent eating. It's just the science of sleep, looking at how long you're sleeping. Maybe you're trying to sleep too long. You're getting up in the middle of a cycle. But I've just found that app to have a lot of great information. I just wanted to share that out with everyone.
Thank you, Kevin.
It's CALM, Calm. It's not the cheapest app in the store, but I found it to be valuable. And then there's, of course, YouTube has thousands of guided meditations for various things. And I found some of their healing ones actually, I'm almost convinced there's something there. Like you sit there and you're just kind of going through I'm healing myself at the cellular level and I'm going off to sleep, but for the next 45 minutes it's playing in my ears that my cells are healing, and maybe there's something there. I don't know.
Okay. Thanks for the share.
You're
Can I say
absolutely
something?
right. And sure.
Yes, you can.
One of the things that I've been telling myself and my family over the years is that the power of the will is not something that people really think about, but it is absolute. Regardless of whether you believe in faith or anything else, your own personal will can move mountains. If you believe that you will survive things that other people won't, simply by believing you can. I totally believe that.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Actually, I had one quick question, Christine. This is something, especially now that's going on, is sleep. I fall asleep more during the day than I do at night. And that's been a really bad habit now. And I'm trying to figure out, is there anything you know of that would help that? Or, I mean, break
so
that cycle.
here's the thing with that. So to break the cycle, so you decide whatever day, okay, tonight I'm going to bed at this time. Set an alarm for that time. Okay, it's time to go to bed. You lay there, you meditate, you breathe, you do your thing, whatever it is that you do. And what you're going to do is as you continue to do that, you're going to force your body and your brain to form a habit. Will it be hard? Yes. I guarantee you, no lie. I'm on my third day. I quit smoking on Tuesday. So it's just programming the mind.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's programming of the mind. So, like she said, you have to will yourself. Okay, because your body's gonna fight you. It's gonna fight you because it's gonna do what it's used to doing. It's easy to do what we know, and it's hard to do something we don't know. So I'm right there with you, except for yours is sleep and mine's is cigarettes. So
you know what? That's exactly how I quit smoking in 2007. Was absolute will, because nothing else worked. And I tried so many times before that. So yes, you will be able to do it because you want to.
Exactly. Which means you will have to set that alarm, and you can set it consecutively, Frank, and you will have to force yourself, because as humans, right as we get ready to go to bed, our brain goes, oh no, but there's something else to do. You got to control that. No, it's time for me to lay down and get the proper amount of rest so you can get your body back on track.
I think Kevin has something to say as well.
I was going to share with the group that I quit drinking after, I'm 53 years. Long time.
Amazing.
About 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely amazing.
I just said, you know what? I'm done with this. It's not serving me. It's pro-inflammatory, and I'm going 180 degrees the opposite way. And it was the easiest thing I ever did because I was already kind of prepped for it. Like, so in the Calm app, there's a whole thing about hacking habits that makes it easy.
Right.
So you look at your habit and you don't try and fix it. You just observe. Observe what's going on in your head, what are your triggers, and then you analyze it. And you figure out, okay, this is the way it's working. This is the way my brain is wired right now from years and years and years of practice. And then you go and say, okay, what's false about that story? Like, alcohol is good for me. Not true. Alcohol makes me feel good. Not the next morning. Alcohol. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And then you replace that with a better habit that you can get enrolled behind in terms of positive outcomes. And for me, it was like the easiest thing I ever did. It was crazy. And I was really kind of frightened about it because my life's on the line. So from that standpoint, I'm like, it's killing me. Maybe something's killing me. It's in my heart. And 2020, you know what? You can have the entire year back. It sucked, but it is what it is. And like a water to pebble, it's what God's giving me this year, and I will find His purpose, and I will carry on, and I will win, and I will beat this thing, and I will give back to this community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for the share, Kevin. We appreciate that. Mary as well, and Wendy and Frank. Thank you. Frank, did Christine was able to aid you in what you need to know?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris, can you give us one more activity? Because we've been sitting here for a minute and we've been blah, 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 blah. It's time for us to get this blood circulating, get this muscle in the brain functioning, and give us a powwow right now. We need one of those moments because we're stuck in the house and glued to the phone and X, Y, and Z. The floor is yours.
Computer.
Yes.
I would have to say, and this has been good for me as far as exercise or as far as, things you can do. I've started to learn how to knit, like with the yarn. That's something that I would recommend doing. It's very, very informational. It's very, I want to say it keeps you focused. But I think the major thing for me, and this is what I started telling people last year, that every little step counts. Everything counts, whether it's small, whether it's big. And so what you have to do is you have to get up every day, like Kevin was saying, and make a conscientious effort to fight for your life. And so I think with that, the best, I would say, exercise outside of meditation is stretching. Try yoga. Try it. It's been known really to help with not only mental illness but with physical health as well. So I would recommend that you guys try yoga. That would be a good, really great activity where it's not too much strain and fuss on the body. Is that what you meant, Trina?
Since you mentioned it, we need for you to bust a move. So give us a demo. Hey, yo, you got willed in on that one.
So when I stretch, I just typically stretch. So I start with this, and I'll leave my arms like this for like 2 to 3 seconds. And then I'll take this arm. And all these are just basic stretches when you go to the gym. It basically allows you to stretch.
I feel that all in my neck. I feel all that stress.
Because this is the main part where you're gonna see tension. So then I do shoulder rolls. Because most people, their tension. She's dancing. That's not what you're supposed to do, by the way. So this is usually our tensest point where we have our stress and our tension and stuff is usually right here in the shoulder. So I usually do this and then I roll forward.
Ooh, that
And
hurts.
another one I like to do that's actually one of my favorites is where you stand up and you're just kind of stretching. So you can bend the knee and you can stay there as long as you desire, but you're getting that stretch all the way down.
Okay. And this is good before we go to bed, you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's good any time of the day. This is another one that I do. And I hold it for as long as I can. And then I bring it forward.
I think I'm doing it wrong, but I get the picture. Okay.
Like this. So you just interlock your fingers, stretching. And I just go back, generally go back here. On my legs, I typically will sit down, open my legs up, and I just stretch each leg. So I pull the top of my toe, because what you're doing is when you're stretching and relaxing the muscle and you're breathing and you're doing all those things, that's where your body's like, okay, she's ready to relax. He's ready to calm down. I think it's time for us to go to sleep, because you're telling your brain, okay, we'll wind it down.
That routine, that
Yep.
transition. Okay.
All you're doing is when you're doing that, you're just simply talking to the brain. But stretching is great for that.
Thank you, Christine, for accompanying us tonight. We appreciate your insight.
Absolutely.
And we will again, soon we'll invite you to come back. And at this time, if there's any more questions, if not, we're going to have Frank to bring us to a close.
Thank you so much, Christine, for coming and helping us, because especially during these times, really much needed. It's just so much, like you guys were talking about. I always say there's more mental in this than it is physical, and having you teach us some things really does help. I do want to and thank you, Trina, also.
More than welcome.
And does anybody have anything they want to say before we get out today? I'm sorry, I'm kind of in this is my fifth conference call today.
Oh, dear Lord.
Wow.
I don't see how you do it.
You are a trooper, Frank. Well, you guys, I'm going to get out of here, but I definitely look forward to the next session, until we get back to our normalcy, where I'll be able to see you guys and meet you guys and just, put that physical thing together. It's been such a pleasure. Everybody, keep your head up, keep those habits up, and we'll reconvene next month, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. See you later.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay. You're welcome.
I'm going to chime in and encourage everyone to sign up for Rare Across America. I posted a link to it in the chat. You can get involved and advocate for sarcoidosis with your local representatives. There we go. There's the word.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to happen in the end of August and September, but you can register now. They set up appointments for you. Some of them will be virtual. Actually, we'll see how things go, but they made virtual considering what's going on with COVID. But links there, sign up. Let's get sarcoidosis represented. And Rodney, I will see you next Tuesday and Thursday. He's going to be a moderator for the Rare on the Road.
Yay!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mary.
Yeah.
We also want to let everybody know that when you do meet with your congressmen and your senators, if they're not already a member, ask them to become a member of the Rare Disease Caucus. That would mean a whole lot for us.
There's also
go ahead, Mary.
I was going to say something about the burden study. So there is a study coming out that I'm going to try to encourage as many sarcoid people to complete, and it's called a burden study, and it's basically trying to get an idea of the cost of disease, of rare disease, and it's trying to account for everything from any assistance you might need, changes that you've done to your home, care costs that you might have for childcare, everything across the board, to get a true idea of the cost of rare disease. So that way we have facts when we go and talk to the legislators and try to make some change. If we have a quantitative amount, then that's going to be more powerful. So if everybody fills out the survey, which I'm sure I'll promote all over the place, that would be really helpful. So that should be coming out soon too.
And speaking of surveys, I'm going to let you guys know, I said it last week. I mean, yeah, last week it was. There's going to be a sarcoidosis survey coming out. Rodney and I actually had a hand in this. It probably is going to be long, but please take it.
Probably, Frank.
I know it's going to be long, but there is a reason why it's going to be long. It's really like how you adjusted from COVID and how COVID affected you. We want to find things out now because we're pretty sure we're going to have another outbreak coming up in the fall. So this is also going to help the doctors and ourselves to get ready for, the mistakes that we made beforehand.
Right.
So I do want everybody to take it. The more people, the better. And if you can't take it all in one shot, whatever you've done, it will save from when you get, so you can take it, finish it up later. But please do. And Dr. Sakatu, who's down by Rodney's area, but New Orleans though, right?
Right, she's from New Orleans.
Yeah, she's in New Orleans, but she's a sarcoidosis doctor, and she's actually running it. And they have a couple of there's 6 patients that are
from London. Anne-Marie Russell.
Yeah, Anne-Marie Russell is from London, and she's helping with the research part of it. And there's 2 people from London, 2 people from New York, and 2 people from Louisiana. And so
Greater New Orleans area.
Yeah. So it's we actually just got it finished today. But we're waiting for it to go into the computer. We're gonna take it first, so we'll let you know. And then we'll go from there.
If I signed up through FSR through their patient registry, would I automatically get a copy of that?
No, this is actually not going. This one's not actually from FSR. So I will start putting the links up everywhere.
Can you get their mailing list and just blast it out through FSR?
We're hoping to work with them to get them to post it, because all it's going to do is help FSR.
Right.
So
we can't say divided.
Yeah, we're working.
I know one of the advocates there, so if you need some help, I can reach out to her.
Actually, we're Rodney and myself, Kathleen, Trina.
You got that one covered? Perfect.
Yeah, well,
who do you know?
Also, I spoke with Frida from
Mary McGonigal.
Who do you know, Kevin?
Mary McGonigal.
Oh yeah.
Mary.
Yep.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mary's a patient ambassador.
Yep. She's my nutrition counselor right now.
Oh, okay.
Wow. What a godsend. Learn how to eat all over again. Eat to beat. Right?
I spoke with Frida at Global Genes, Frank. Mary knows about Global Genes, maybe trying to get them to do it on their website also.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Yeah, because we could maybe try to work with Mary.
Get out there, the more people will get to take it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's our thing. We need a lot of people to take it, because you really can't get a good, like Mary was talking about with your survey. The more people, the better the survey. So, all right. So on that note, we're gonna get out of here. Hope you have
Right.
a couple of weeks. Well, good week, because next one is next Tuesday. All right, and I'll
Okay.
talk to you guys soon then.
And can you confirm you have Tuesday being the 23rd? We're not getting together on Father's Day, right?
No. It'll be on the first Tuesday in July.
Yeah, it's the 23rd.
Oh, July.
No, wait,
Oh,
no.
we have one on the 23rd, Frank?
Yeah, the 23rd.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Is that the extra meeting? Frank?
Yeah, that's extra. That's the extra meeting.
Okay, because I didn't have it in my calendar.
Yeah, gotcha. It's gonna be
Glad you mentioned that.
It's gonna be the fourth Tuesday of the month. So for now, we're keeping it that way until if
The fourth
if
Tuesday
more
and the
people are
first
working. Yeah, the first one and the fourth one. Once people really start going back to work, we'll evaluate it then.
Okay.
People might be too tired by
All
then.
Good night.
I gotta run. I got hungry family
Good night.
downstairs.
All right.
Nice meeting y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well,
All right.
Trina rocks.
All right.
Not quite yet.